Hi everyone, today's November 7th, 2020, and this is the Duel Assessment, your podcast for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. My name is Green Ranger. This week, just before the Kaiba Cup, we're going to talk about a new box. This is getting released today, so this is being recorded day of release. It probably will be out by nighttime or maybe in a few hours. And that's a new box called Shark Fang. And this was the long-awaited water box. Not long-awaited. This was the expected box when we got Reginald Shark Castle, and he couldn't play. Shark Drake was only a skill exclusive card, and I said, well, they're going to come out with this Water XCs box, and here we have this Water XCs box. So we're going to talk about all the URs and SRs on this box. And other cards also from the Tag Duel Tournament. That's the main PvE event going on this week. 2 new cards from that event. Dimmaduel is here with pure windups. This is not the most competitive deck because it doesn't involve Invoked, but if you want to get into the soul of the archetype, see how it all works, he has windups for you. That and all the latest esports will be discussed. So in my week, I've been playing a little bit more, trying to rank up to not a completely embarrassing rank before the Kaiba Cup actually begins. I might put in some games for those, but what I've been playing are Fortune Ladies. I saw one of the early King of Game decks hit King of Games with Fortune Lady Dark. It's actually a deck that doesn't run any Fortune Lady wins. It's typically a card you do run one of to hit back row, but this one runs Fortune Lady Dark, and the whole reason you would run her is because of Brionic. So sometimes you get into rank 6 play, not rank 6. Oh, I'm mixing up XZs and Synchros. Synchro summon a level 6 monster like Brionic. And she comes out with Fortune Lady Calling. So Fortune Lady Calling can get out one of the bigger Fortune Lady monsters. Now, with this deck, what was notable about it? It uses Fortune Lady Rewind as well. So those are 2 different things. Fortune Lady Rewind and Fortune Lady Dark. Fortune Lady Rewind brings back your banished Fortune Ladies in defense. So really, there was a play with a spell card. I'm forgetting the card's names. It's a Future Fortune or something, where you bring back a banished monster and then you draw 2 cards. Well, you could do the same thing with Fortune Lady Rewind, because you could banish your Fortune Lady Waters, and bring them back onto the board for board presence, to synchro summon, whatever. And then you also draw 2 cards. So it's basically combining the Future Fortune play with Resurrection, Fortune Lady Rewind, and works pretty well. I'm in Plat 5 at the moment, so I'm trying to get to Legend at least before the Kaiba Cup begins, and it's doing pretty well. So I'm happy it's doing well with the deck. I'm probably going to run Car Curries just to get through the Kaiba Cup, but we'll see. Alright, let's talk about esports. Duel Links Meta had 2 events this week. Meta Championship Series 36. They're still mustering up $1,500. So first place, Daniel Yugioh. I don't know if this is the same Daniel that I always see on Best of Daniel on Twitter, but if it's him, that's great. Mythic Depths, Cristrons. So we're seeing an evolution Cristrons here. They used to go full Sea Stealth, Citadel Whale. Then they went Psychic Wielder, 3 copies of that card, and now we have a hedge. 2 Psychic Wielders, 1 Citadel Whale, 1 Sea Stealth. It's kind of the hedge they're going for. Combines the best of both worlds, really. And you still have your full core of monsters. So 3 Soul Fifnir, 3 Genix Undyne, 2 Smyger, 2 Fistvern, 3 Scrap Recycler, 3 Citri, 1 Rosenix, 1 Ryan, 1 Praise Turtle, 1 Genix Controller. Back row choices, 3 Cosmic Cyclones, and 2 Forbidden Lance, and 1 Crystron Impact. Second place, Psycho Piece, Drawsense Dark, Invoked Magician Girl. Invoked Magician Girl really took off. Thanks to Drawsense Dark. It's a skill that's good too, because you could virtually run any character. A lot of characters have Draw Sense Dark. You could play a little game with your opponent. I mean, they probably know what you're playing by the first turn, but you could play a little game if you're playing second and they don't know what to expect. And really, like any Invoked deck, you really put your best trap cards in outside of that Alistair Invocation, your Magician Girls, and then you put in your best trap cards. 3 Ballista Squad, 3 Fiendish Chain, 3 Floodgates, 1 Fusion Reserve. Top 4, Lord of Scrubs, Allured by Darkness, Thunder Dragon. So this is very interesting because Allured by Darkness, you're playing Yubel, and each time your life points decrease by 1800, instead of doing a normal draw, you draw Allure of Darkness. In that card, you draw 2 cards and then they banish a dark monster. So if you banish a dark monster, that could be Thunder Dragon Dark or Thunder Dragon Roar. So both of these cards have effects that go off when you banish them. So it's basically an activator for those abilities. And this deck also has some synchro components to it. Glow Up Bulb, Jet Synchron. Also hits with a Chaos Dragon Legionnaire, 2 copies of that card. And top 4, -1 Mythic Depths. Cristrons, again, this is a hedger with the 2 wielders, Psychic Wielders, 1 Citadel Will, 1 Sea Stealth. Really, the difference of this deck and the first place deck are the back row choices. No Cosmic Cyclones here. You got Inverse Universe, Crystron entry, 3 copies of Forbidden Lance. Okay, so then Duel Links Meta Weekly number 149. First place, you got wrecked. Draw Sense Dark, Invoked, Magician Girl again. Not much to comment here. Back row choices are a little different here. The core of Magician Girls appear to be 2 chocolate, 3 berry, 1 apple. And in the extra deck, they do run Diamond Dire Wolf as a level 4 monster. It's basically a 1-for-1, not really 1-for-1. You XZ summon it with the 2 chocolates or maybe Alistair, and you could attach the materials on. You could overlay them into Diamond Dire, sacrifice Diamond Dire, and that would release Alistair and Chocolate Magician Girl into the graveyard, and then you could play Invocation. So I guess that's kind of the play, where you sacrifice the Diamond Dire Wolf, release the materials back into the graveyard, and then you could use Invocation to do it. So it seems to be a core card right now in the extra deck, but they could really fit in other level 4 plays, rank 4 plays as well. Alright, so that culminates into the tier list update here. A lot of movers here. Tier 1 Cristrons have been moved up thanks to those results, and with Karkuri. Tier 2, we have both of the Shiranui decks, Control Shiranui and Combo Shiranui. This is a deck you see a ton on the ladder. Hasn't really gone anywhere. And Invoked Magician Girls have been moved up to Tier 2 rightfully. Tier 3, we see the demotion of Black Wings. This is a deck that's seen less play in the tournament scene, but definitely a deck you still run into a lot on the ladder. And off the tier list are Ritual Beasts and Witchcrafters. Witchcrafters are dead in the water, pretty much. But they could still hit some game stacks with the right builds. Alright, let's move on to the new box. Yeah, let's do a new box first. So this is Shark Fang. Kind of a weird name for the deck. For a box. Yeah, it's kind of a weird name. But anyways, we'll talk about the URs and SRs here. And really what this box brings is a lot more Xyz monsters. There's 5 in the UR and SR pool, and then another 7 in the R pool and N. So there's 8 from the R and N pool, and 5 from UR and SR. So it's a lot more Xyz monsters to play with. That's really what this deck brings. And we'll go over some of the Rs and Ns next week with some of these notable Xyz monsters, but we're just going to talk about the URs and SRs here. Some archetypes, like the water archetypes, are all here. Some released selection box cards are back. And let's see, Steel Swarms, Go, Do, Organic. That seems like a new archetype. A lot more water stuff. Yeah, a lot more water stuff. Let's start with the URs. You only get 1 in each box. This is one we talked about kind of when we got Reginald Shark Castle. number 32 Shark Drake, rank 4 Water Serpent, Sea Serpent 3 level 4 monsters, 2800 attack, 2100 defense. Once per turn, when this attacking card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card. Special summon the destroyed monster to your opponent's side of the field and face-up attack. Also, it loses 1000 attack. If you do summon this way, this card can make a second attack during the battle phase. So yeah, this is some OTK potential here. You don't have to use the skill anymore. You could run Mythic Depths, and then you got 3000 attack. That makes it much more better. OTK potential when you attach a concentrating current. So then you throw in, that's going to be 4900 attack on a monster that has lost 1000 attack. So that could be an OTK right there. And this type of aggressive play, you kind of need like a Hatrunate's kind of hard to do if you're running Concentrated Current, but you got Cosmic Cyclone, Night Beam. You've got a bunch of different options to knock out opponent back row. And of course, getting 3 level 4 monsters to do the Xyz play sounds a little difficult, but there's plenty of water support in this box here that it should work out. And it's a generic 3 level 4 monsters. It could be run in any deck that has a rank 4 toolbox, really. No water requirements. The monster doesn't require water or anything like that. So it's a good card to get for a rank 4 toolbox. Even better when you have some water monsters that work well with the setup. Next UR is number 37, Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark. It's a clunky name. Rank 4 Sea Serpent, 2 level 4 water monsters, 2600 attack, 2100 defense. When any player's monster declares an attack, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card. All monsters your opponent controls currently lose 1000 attack until the end of the turn. When this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target one other monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can use each effect once per turn. This is pretty good. It could hit up to 3600 attack on monsters because they'll lose 1000, so it'll hit up to 3600. So you can get over anything with 3000. If you don't activate this ability, this card's destroyed. You can resurrect something in the graveyard. So, and that's pretty good. And then Shark also has abilities with Sea Serpents. So with the Shark Drake as well and Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark, Shark's Revenge gives it like 1500 attack. You're Getting on My Nerves gives it 500 attack. So they work pretty well with Shark. This one does require the 2 level 4 water monsters, but with all the support in this box, it's pretty easy to do. Next card is Evil Swarm Bahamut. Rank 4 Dark Dragon, 2 level 4 Ice Swarm monsters are required, 2350, 1350. Once per turn, you can detach an Xyz material from this card to target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Discard 1 Ice Swarm monster. If you do, take control of that opponent's monster. Really good. This seems like the only reason you would run like a weak archetype like Ice Swarm. And the ability can be interfered with though, so if it tries to activate the ability, they could flip it face down because it's on an automatic activation. You have to detach an Xyz material. So something like Forbidden Lance sounds like in order to prevent it getting flipped face down. Now, the question is if you can generate enough card advantage to make this work. I haven't looked at all the Ice Swarm monsters to see if they generate card advantage well, but you're basically, discarding the monster and taking control. So that's pretty strong if you have enough cards in your hand. Maya Stroke the Symphony Djinn. Rank 4 Dark Fiend, 2 level 4 monsters, generic 1800, 2300. Once per turn, you can detach an Xyz material from this card, then target 1 face-up attack position monster your opponent controls. Change it to face-down defense. If a Djinn Xyz monster you control would be destroyed, you can detach an Xyz material from that monster instead. This is pretty good. It's the best Djinn monster we have on the Xyz side. It's like a simple battle flip position winner. It's kind of like Aramage Rosemary. You flip it to battle defense where it's weaker and you destroy it. And that's all it does really. So, and it's also flipping them face down, which is better than just face up, so you could avoid certain effects from going off from them being face up. So it's a fine rank 4 XD's monster for your toolbox because it is generic requirements. Alright, Elemental Hero Stratus. I don't have to say what this card does. It's a reprint box. It's been in the reprint box, selection box for 10 months. And this is really the card you need if you want to play a really good masked hero deck. Now, masked heroes are still good right now, but I don't know if they will be in the future. So you're kind of hedging on getting a full playset of masked heroes for this Kaiba Cup or for some tournament, but I don't know how competitive they are down the line. So if you're betting for the future, I don't really know. Next card is Evil Swarm Caster, Dark Warrior, level 4, 1750, 550. During the turn this card is normal summoned, you can normal summon one Ice Swarm monster in addition to your normal summoner set. Alright, so clearly an XZ's summon setup piece. Any Ice Swarm monster. So Ice Swarm, what is Ice Swarm? It is Evil Swarm and Steel Swarm. So there's a lot of these cards in Duel Links. I counted them all up. So all the rank 4 ones are Evil Swarm Azathoth, Heliotrope, Haralsaveg, Kerkelion, which comes in this box, Ketos, Mandragora, O-Lantern, Obliviwisp, Salamandra, Zahak, and only 2 Steel Swarms, Caller and Gatekeeper. I guess we could also count Steel Swarm Sting that comes out in this box. I'll just add this to the notes right now. So really, this works with a lot of things. And it also works as a double summon, so you could kind of, you could tribute summon after this and use a Steel Swarm ability, because Steel Swarms, they have extra abilities when they tribute summon. So yeah, Evil Swarm Caster basically is your setup for Evil Swarm Bahamut. You are playing 2 cards out of your hand, so I don't know how many cards you have left in your hand to take control of their monsters. Alright, Tin Goldfish. Level 4 Water Machine, 800 attack, 2000 defense. When this card's normal summoned, you can special summon one level 4 monster from your hand. Another basic XZ summon setup card. It's a water machine though, so it works with water, so you could work with the number 37. But if they're asking for a fish or aqua or sea serpent, the traditional water types, it's a machine, so we'll work with it for that. But it works for water. Next one is Mermaid Shark, level 1, water fish, 100 attack, 300 defense. When this card's normal summoned, you can add a level 3, 4, or 5 fish monster from your deck to your hand. Some kind of combo card, but it's not obvious to me at the moment. Level 3 to 5 fish is a lot of monsters. This itself is level 1 though, so you might need some way to modulate its level so it could go along with the 3, 4, or 5 to make a play. I bet some R card in this box does that. I haven't looked at them, but I bet one of them does that. But right now the use of this card is not completely obvious to me. Last UR card is called Xyz Reborn. Trap card, target one Xyz monster in your graveyard, special summon it. If you do, attach this card as an Xyz material. This is Reborn the monster as a trap card, and it only works for Xyz monsters. This type of card is a regular Xyz helper. I expect it to be phased out down the line, but it's nice for including an Xyz material. It's a late game card, could help you win the game. Alright, so let's move on to the SR cards. And with a box like this, an SR card, you pretty much get extra copies of them when you're going for full play sets of UR cards. Let's get to that. So the first one is Adrius, Keeper of Armageddon, rank 5, Dark Fiend, 2 level 5 monsters, 2600 attack, 2700 defense. Once per turn, you can detach an Xyz material from this card to target one face-up card your opponent controls to destroy it. The rank 5 Xyz summoning is actually not the hardest thing to do. A lot of monsters do special summon themselves. There's like Keeper of the Sun, Oracle of the Sun, Cyber Dragon, the Tricky. There's a few monsters that do it. And this is a nice card. basic control card. Target one face-up card. It could be Necro Valley, for example. 2600 attack. That's decent. Fine extra deck card for any deck that just runs level 5 monsters. I don't think it'll be a build around card, but you don't build around to play this card. But it's fine for any deck that just does run level 5s. Vision Hero Adoration, I don't have to talk about it again. This is a reprint, selection box card. It's been out for 10 months. It's less core to hero strategies than Stratus, but it's definitely a fine play for your extra deck. Alright, Evil Swarm Kerkelion. Level 4 Dark Spellcaster, 1600 attack, 1550 defense. Oddly, the attack is not in a 50. You can use each effect of Evil Swarm Kerkelion once per turn. When this card's in the graveyard, if it was sent there this turn, you can normal summon one Ice Swarm monster for one less tribute. You can banish one Ice Swarm monster from your graveyard, then target one Ice Swarm monster in your graveyard, add the target to your hand. Also, this card gains the following effect. This turn, you can activate this effect, normal summon one Ice Swarm monster. So this adds an extra layer to Ice Swarm, besides being an Xyz archetype. Now, you can give the Ice Swarms the double summon ability, kind of like the caster did. So you could summon Evil Swarm Golem for no cost and destroy a monster. This also works out with the bigger Steel Swarm monsters. They have abilities when you tribute summon. It's similar to caster. That one gives you a normal summon as well. But these two are like the key cards you would play. You can make like a rank 4 with 3 monsters with caster, Kerkelion, and some other card. Ishki Vision, level 2 Sea Serpent, 700 attack, 500 defense. If you ritual summon exactly one water ritual monster with a card effect that requires the use of monsters, this card can be used as the entire requirement. You can discard this card. Add one Gishki ritual monster from your deck to your hand. This serves as an entire ritual monster cost for water monsters. That's one use. But you could also use this as a combo with Deep Sea Diva, and do a rank 2 Xyz summon. So that's another play you could do. There's a pretty good rank 2 monster in the R pool called number 45. So that's a potential use for Deep Sea Diva and Gishki Vision besides the ritual stuff. Next card is Gishki Abyss, level 2 Fish, 800, 500. When this is just summoned, add a Gishki monster with 1,000 or less defense from your deck to your hand, except for this one. So all of them seem to have 1,000 or less defense. So this is an all-purpose tutor for the Gishki archetype. Again, they're kind of like a ritual summoning archetype. There is an Xyz monster in the R pool, but typically they are for ritual summons. Next card is Go Golem, Golden Form, level 4, Earth Rock, 0 attack, 1500 defense. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by tributing one Go monster and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card's attack becomes to double the original attack of the tributed monster. Any battle damage your opponent takes from attacks involving this card is halved. Once per turn during either player's turn, if a monster effect is activated on your opponent's side of the field, this card loses 1500 attack. If it does, negate that effect. This is a clunky card. You're not going to run a ton of these because you need them to not brick up your hand. But it's like a beat stick. You can make something, a 2000 monster, attribute it for 4000 attack. It could be a beat stick, sure, but you're going to want this on the board to negate opponent's effects. And that's like how many 1500 attack losses can you have. Next card is Xyz Sly Dolphin, the Sea Serpent, level 4, 1200 attack, 1800 defense. If an Xyz monster is special summoned to your field, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If an Xyz monster is special summoned to your field while this card's in the graveyard, except the turn this was sent to the graveyard, you can target one of those Xyz monsters, attach this card to it as material. Nice card, very good card. Perfect for these rank 4 water Xyz plays. You could cheat it out from the hand. It becomes a material for an Xyz material for that rank 4 summon. You overlay them. That monster gets destroyed or this card gets detached. You make another Xyz play. It becomes a material. This becoming a material thing seems to be a pretty good benefit 4 XZs to become competitive in any form. So this is a key card, all-purpose card for these water rank 4 XZs plays. Doesn't have to be water. Like, this is just like a good rank 4 XZs play card. Next card is Silent Angler, level 4 water fish, 800, 1400. If you control a water monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, but you cannot special summon monsters from your hand for the rest of the turn. So if you're doing, this is another material. It's another rank 4 water material, but then you can't do another play. So if you have 3 plays, this is your last one because you can't cheat out another card from your hand. It's not going to be your second play. Some people are going to mess it up, and they're going to play it second. They're going to play it third, like Slide Dolphin. Then you can't do it. So make sure you get this guy out last. Alright, Fissure. Everyone knows this card. Normal spell, destroy the one face-up monster your opponent controls that has the lowest attack, your choice if tied. One of the first cards to be released in the TCG at any point. This will trade with the biggest monster they have on the board if it's the only one. So it's a 1-for-1 play. Great play if they only have one monster. Now this card destroys but doesn't target. So that's the ability. It gets by any of those targeting effects. And it's slow speed. So I'm not sure if this will see play, but I think it will. It was always so good back then. So finally came to Duel Links. Next card is called Surface. Spell card. Normal spell. Target 1 level 3 or lower fish, sea serpent, or aqua in your graveyard. Special summon and face-up defense. This is for rank 3 or lower XYZ plays, water plays. So yeah, this works well with the rank 3 deck. A lot of XYZ monsters appear to be rank 3, so this helps them out a bit. Finally, Black Illusion. This is a reprint card again from the selection box. It saw 0 play. I've probably played against more Dark Magician than anything since then. And this card saw 0 play. So, yeah. And it says BM, which is hilarious because it's called Black Magician. They haven't changed the art on it. Maybe they changed the art on it. Maybe this is a Japanese art. Duel Links meta is notorious for taking the Japanese art. So it could say DM instead of BM. Alright, so we're going to talk about the other Rs and Ns next week. Because there's nothing to talk about during like a regular Kaiba Cup week. So let's move on to Tag Duel Tournament. This time we're pairing up for some with DSOD Kaiba, with Kaylin Kessler, and with Jaden Yuki. 2 new cards here. First one is Kachi Kochi Dragon. Rank 4 Earth Dragon. 2 level 4 monsters, 2100 attack, 1300 defense. Once per turn, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can detach an XYZ material from this card. It can make a second attack in a row. Poor man's Shark Drake, that's the best way to look at it. But it could be better for doing a direct attack. Because the Shark Drake is going to bring back the monster and then give it 1,000 less attack. So it could be better for a direct attack. But then the defense doesn't really make it up for it with Concentrating Current. It still has some OTK potential. It's cheaper, so it's 2 level 4 monsters, so it's easier to get out. It's easier to do in a toolbox than Shark Drake. Yeah. Some OTK potential here. Probably not enough. I think Shark Drake's better. But in any case, both cards need to counter the back row if they were to have any use, because they have to win a battle. So this card, not the best card, but really any XYZ monster with generic requirements may see some play. Next card is Emperor Maju Garzet. Level 9 Dark Fiend, 0 attack, 0 defense. More like question mark, but cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by tributing 3 monsters. This card's attack becomes the combined original attack of the tributed monsters. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during the battle phase. This is probably not a competitive card because it requires a full board, but this screams farming. So you get those big monsters out. It could be like the Gate Guardian skill, but anyways, it becomes all of their attacks, so it's nice. And you put a Vassal on the Gravekeeper's Vassal, Secret Pass to Treasures, Union attack, and you're good. This card probably won't see any competitive play. It is nice for preventing effects during the battle phase, so you could pretty much just stick your opponent down to death if you can avoid things. So you could use Forbidden Lance to prevent it from getting hit by anything. So I guess you could kind of shock your opponent, but that setup of requiring 3 monsters is a bit too much at the moment for it to be anything competitive. But definitely a farming card, I think. Okay, so those were the main topics this week. I think next week we're going to get into the other cards from the Shark Fang box and some of the other things. Doug Dimmaduel is here with his casual deck of the week. This week he has rank 5 Xyz plays with windups. The windups have been involved in a few decks. I've played the Kiza deck only with Windup Rabbit. This one is just a pure windup deck. Doesn't involve any invoked strategies, as Doug says. Probably if you include the invoked strategies, it's a bit better, but this is not supposed to be competitive. It's a casual deck, but gets into the soul of windups. Here is Doug Dimmaduel with windups.
Hey there, this is Doug Dimmaduel with Doug's Casual Deck of the Week. So this week I wanted to run through a wind-up deck build. It's not the most competitive thing on the planet, and there are much better deck builds that utilize Alistair, the Invoker, but I mean, I know you guys are tired of Invoked decks, so at least what I'm going to do is just run a pure wind-up deck. Yeah, it bricks a lot, yeah, whatever, but the strategy that I'm really going to try to use is to get into those level 5 Xyz plays with Wind-Up Shark and either Wind-Up Soldier or Wind-Up Dog that are both able to manipulate their own levels up to level 5 to get into your Wind-Up arsenal. Zenmeo, I believe it's what it is. It's the one that requires 2 level 5 monsters, 2600 attack, where you could detach one Xyz material from this card to target 2 set cards on the field and destroy them. So, again, this strategy is really to hopefully target set cards. This is why my back row is exclusively Paleozoic Canadia, because it flips everything, or flips opponent's monster face down, and Floodgate Trap Hole to flip an opponent's monster face down upon summon. So, really the whole point is use your back row to flip your opponent's monsters face down and then get into that level 5 X or that rank 5 Xyz play and just start popping set cards, even your opponent's back row if you think that there's a threat. So here's the layout. It's really just 3 wind-up sharks, because anytime you summon another wind-up monster, you could special summon this card, and whether or not you have a level 3 or level 4 or level 5 on the field, this monster can adjust its level by 1, either up or down, or just keep it the same. So you can get into rank 4, rank 3, and rank 5 plays very easily. So with that being said, I like to have Wind-Up Magician. That way I could normal summon this monster, then special summon Wind-Up Shark, activate its effect, and then special summon another monster out of the deck because I have Wind-Up Magician on the field. You could get into some pretty cool plays. Some rank 3 for Zenmaines, the one that requires 2 level 3 monsters. This is the SR out of the recent box. You could detach 1 Xyz material from this card instead of it being destroyed, and then during the end phase, if that effect was used, you could target 1 card on the field and destroy it. So really, really good. Or you get into the other rank 3 play for the wind-up carriers and maybe you could then special summon 1 wind-up monster onto the field from your deck and then get into some more plays that way. As for rank 4 plays go, get into any generic rank 4 Xyz monster. If you want to use Utopia, go for it. I have Black Ship of Corn just to, do some burn damage. But then also, because we could flood the field with some level 4s, I don't mind having a copy of Stellar Knight Deltaros because it requires 3 level 4 monsters. It allows you to pop a card on the field. I'll use this deck with the Monarch of the Deep Sea number 32. That way I got at least one more card in the extra deck that requires 3 level 4s, because this could go pretty easily. But because you have Wind Up Magician, because you have Wind Up Shark, you add in Wind Up Soldier and Wind Up Dog. Wind Up Soldier is level 4 on its own, but it could boost its level by 1 and make it a level 5. Now also Wind Up Dog, even though it's a level 3, can also boost its level by 2 for 1 turn and get into your rank 5 Xyz plays. And then for good measure, Wind Up Rat, it's only a level 3, but it allows you to then special summon one of your other Wind Ups out of the graveyard very easily, hopefully one of your wind-up sharks or maybe another one of your wind-up dogs. Then that way you can get into a rank 3 play and just go from there. So this deck is very combo heavy, but if you don't have the right pieces, it can brick pretty quickly. But I've had a lot of fun playing this deck. There are times where I can't get anything going. Maybe I just have too many wind-up magicians or whatever. Or you open with wind-up rat. Not always the best thing to have to open with. So maybe reduce the number of wind-up rats in your deck. I don't know. But this deck is still a lot of fun. There is a way more competitive version that utilizes, the invoked monsters in your extra deck, because there's a whole bunch of different attributes here. We're dealing with water, we're dealing with fire, we're dealing with earth. So there is opportunities with that, but I'm not going to go into that deck. I'm just staying strictly with windups. And yeah, you can also go with Windup Juggler, one of my favorite windup cards. I don't run it in this deck, but Windup Juggler is that psychic that could pop a card on the field if it enters battle with it, or pop the card that was battling against it. So really, really good. If you want to go that route, it's another way to go. But I'm still not sure at this point. I feel like we're still kind of missing some good staple rank 4 Xyz monsters. And until then, I'm going to keep Juggler out of the deck and try to do some more level manipulation to hopefully get into some level 5 Xyz plays. I know in the next main box, we're going to have a really good rank 5 Xyz monster that can pop a card on the field. So I've been keeping an eye on that. So this deck may be bolstered even a little bit more. So anyway, that's it for my casual deck of the week. I will see you next time. Take care.
All right, thanks a lot, Doug. You can check out Doug's Casual Deck of the Week every week on this podcast. Check out his Twitter account and Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck Talk. All right, so that is it. Upcoming news. Duel Quest is still going on. We still don't have the Mira, the Star Bearer. We'll talk about him next week. Kaiba Cup is beginning next week on the 11th in the middle of the week. So that will be happening for most of the month until the 22nd. Tour Guide Bingo happening mid-November. New SR card Attribute Bomb. Mid-November Mission Circuit. New SR card Blizzard Lizard. Late December Dimensional Disaster Buster Gundle. New UR Gaia the Fierce Knight Origin. New SR Magician's Valkyria. Late November DSOD Tea gets retired. Late November Duel Quest. New SR card called Mermaid Knight. And finally early December we get DD Castle. We get Axel Brody as well. So that is it for the podcast. Next week, like I said, we'll discuss, because it's kind of like a Kaiba Cup week, there's less stuff to talk about. Other notable cards from Shark Fang. We'll finish up the box. Also talk about the ranked reward cards and some other stuff. So thanks for listening, everyone. Listen and subscribe to this podcast anywhere. Check out the podcast and more at the website, theduelassessment.wordpress.com. Email me with anything at theduelassessment@gmail.com, or you can find me on Twitter, where I promise to be more active someday, duel_assessment, or my own account, Green Ranger CCG. All right, thanks for listening. I will see you next time.